Now, the last scene, which I have witnessed from what appears to be peak British cinema, Doctor Who, was something that was given to me on the Twitter, and it was a clip where the Doctor split into two doctors. And I gotta say, it was kind of sexual in nature. Like, I can't really show it to you here because of copyright, but if you actually do watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. Like, the Doctor is actually getting split into two. And he's almost like enjoying this. Like, it's sexual in nature. And there's like three women behind them. One of them is in a wheelchair. It was all very complicated for my Eastern European mind to grasp, and I was like, wow, this is something that educated people watch. I'm a little bit uneducated myself. I'm going to go back to my anime. You know, anime is simple. It's like there's a villain. Naruto Uzumaki is going to defeat him. That is the type of thing that I like. But, you know, if anyone wants to watch Doctor Who, they should feel free to watch it, of course. And now I hear about this show again. Apparently, sorry, straight white men. Doctor Who was never made for you. Now, this is a very bold statement. I assume that the show is at the peak of its popularity. Like, it's overflowing with audience. It's overflowing with cash. So they're looking towards anime and they're saying, look, we want to support and champion diversity, and Japanese people are struggling over there. They're doing their best. Go watch their shows instead. Like, give the body to the Japanese man, because we got enough. We're okay here. We're okay. By the way, has there ever been like shows 10 years ago doing this? Like, for instance, one of the most popular show for women was Grey's Anatomy. And I don't recall like Grey's Anatomy telling their viewers, it's like, hey, if you're a straight white man, this is not for you. Interesting how that like, I want you to imagine an alternative universe where some guy manages to inherit Grey's Anatomy, and they start adding aliens in there and zombies and women with big fat tits, like in High School of the Dead. And there's like lesbian tongue action and scissoring, and you have like women complaining about it, and they're like, this isn't the show that we like. This is kind of weird. Like, what happened with our show? And then you have a communique saying that, sorry, ladies, this show was never made for you. It's really interesting. Bold move, I would say. Very bold. So, apparently not everyone was excited by such an unapologetic queer black doctor. It's not that... Okay, they really just don't get it. And I can understand, you know, creative people aren't really that intelligent when it comes to human interaction, because they lock themselves into the basement and they just create, right? The problem isn't that the doctor is gay or black or anything like that. The problem is that in modern entertainment, you can take a character like this, and you can say, okay, this is Shaggy. And it's got nothing to do with the original IP, but now it's Shaggy because the person that inherits the IP just says it's Shaggy, and if you disagree, you're a racist piece of shit. And if you don't like it, don't watch it. Which is literally what's happening. I mean, the ratings for the last episode, after telling people not to watch it, they seem to have listened. Honestly, a lot of people complain that I like anime, and it's like, what do you want me to watch? You want me to watch this? It's not for me. Like, look, they're actively saying it's not for me. I was born this way. I was born straight, and I was born white. There's nothing I can do to change it. There's nothing I can ever do that it will make Doctor Who to be for me. So anyway, apparently this show is all about safe horny, right? It's interesting, isn't it? Like, if you were to have a sexy woman, like, they don't do that anymore, do they? Like, are there actual, you know, like when I was young, it was like Angelina Jolie or Megan Fox. Are there any British actresses that are smoking hot and they appear in TV shows? Like the last TV show that I know which had smoking hot women was The Orville. And before that, I think it was The 100. But like after that, I can't remember a show that actually had women that you would say, wow, this is a star. Like, this is not a beautiful woman. No. I see beautiful women outside. No, this is a star. Like, out of the entire population of 50 million people, like, they found this one person that is so beautiful to behold that they casted her in a TV show. Do those things exist anymore? Because I know Bollywood still does it. I know that China does it. I know that Japan does it. But, like, do people in Britain still do it? Like, is the BBC, the barely British corporation, capable of casting beautiful female characters, because I know that they are capable of casting apparently beautiful queer men. Like, this is something that they can do. But can they do it with women? I don't know. Interesting. So apparently, he would argue that the show has always been socially progressive. Oh yes, like rewriting history. You know, when I think about Doctor Who, this is literally what I think about. Absolute 100%. I started watching the show during David Tennant's run as the 10th Doctor over 15 years. But the thing, I guess, like, it's the gaslighting, right? I remember seeing on Twitter people that show their merchandise, and they're basically saying, look, I bought over $10,000 of merchandise of Doctor Who. Like, can you guys relate with that? Because I can't relate with that. Like, Jesus Christ. So you would be like, I have like $10,000 of merchandise, and they would show like the receipts. And they would say, well, I don't like the show anymore, so I'm not going to watch it. Now, you're telling me that the person who was so invested into the show that they spent $10,000 on it doesn't really understand that something in that show may have changed. No, they just don't get it. I mean, obviously, the journalists get it better, right? So, apparently, in a recent interview with Attitude, the sex education star, why the fuck is the sex education star in Doctor Who, has spoken out about the irrelevance of trolls. You are so angry over something so inconsequential that you can't be an interesting person. You can't have much in your life. Well, yeah, I mean, it turns out that the opposite of love is not hate. You know, like, they actually thought that hatred is the opposition of love. No, like, if you're hateful, you're still passionate about it, right? Like this is why you have a lot of fans that are very vocal and very emotional about stuff on the internet, is because they genuinely care. But what's happening with Doctor Who and many other franchises, like, people legitimately just stop caring. Like, this is the opposite of love, indifference. And this is what they are getting now. They're getting indifference. Like, there are no more trolls. Like, this is fake news. This is misinformation. This is Russian disinfo. It's not real, okay? I do not believe that there are angry people over Doctor Who anymore, simply because of the fact that I'm looking at the ratings and there is no one watching Doctor Who anymore. Maybe there are a couple, okay? Like, the production value and their family, right? Like, maybe those are the people associated with the production and their family that still watch Doctor Who. But I don't know, that, like, no one watches it. So like, where are you finding these people that are hateful? Unless it's from your own team, unless it's from your own families, like yeah, that is a possibility, you know? Maybe the family of the producers, they're the angry trolls. I mean, that would be the only explanation, because, again, there aren't any more people that are watching this. So, Queer as Folk creator, folk is usually spelled with an X, by the way, brought Doctor Who back in 2005. It was clear from the get-go that the show for all the outcasts in the society. Well, like, for Nazis? Huh? Like, the outcasts in society. Like, who are they? Nazis, right? Because, like, queer folk, they have flags everywhere. They get represented in every show. It's like, they're not outcasted. Far-right individual? Huh? Like, who are the outcasts in society? Who is the show for? Good question. But the bigoted straight white men who have spiraled into a meltdown clearly haven't been paying attention to the reboot's rich and ever-evolving history of multiculturalism and LGBTQ inclusion. Yeah, because they're watching anime. And ironically, it's like, if you're a straight white man, you are watching anime. Or some of them are watching old movies. I mean, why would I want to watch something from a person that literally is a raging racist? Like, you go like, oh, white men this, white men that. Like, you don't think that criticism for this show can come from the black community? Like, and ironically, if black people were to watch this show, it wouldn't be doing so poorly in the ratings as it is now. If Muslims would be watching the show, it wouldn't be doing as poorly. There's more than white people that aren't watching this show, but, like, you only care about what they think. Well, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're not a racist. Maybe they're a white supremacist. Maybe they only care the opinion of white people. It's like, well, who cares about what else say? But, like, white people don't like the show, so therefore, in this season, viewers were introduced to the queer companion, blah blah blah. Yeah, so show is not doing well in ratings after this opinion piece. They really tried. They tried their best. I mean, this came before the premiere, didn't it? You know what? There's always a next season. I mean, Oh, maybe it's because of Eurovision. Yeah, I love how they're always coping, like they're finding excuses. Sure, sure, sure. You know, the reason people didn't watch the show is because they were watching Eurovision. So it overlapped, didn't it? I mean, or maybe people were tired from Eurovision, like they were getting viewer fatigue, so they choose not to tune in. Is this on the BBC, by the way? I think it's on the BBC. Am I wrong? If it's on the BBC, then ratings don't matter. They get paid for anyway. Like you pay your license if you're British, right? So let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.